Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the CEO of Himalayan. How you doing, Dana?
I'm great. Thanks for having me this morning.
So a couple of things. What we're going to do here is I'm going to actually read you a post from my private Facebook group that comes along
Okay.
with my course. I do want to recognize Himalayan and yourself now coming back weekly. It used to be every other week, which we appreciate. So you're bringing us real on the grounds property management, mom and pop landlord stuff. So thank you so much. You recorded videos, which I can't believe a CEO of the company recorded videos for our group. Greatly appreciated. Created a PDF for our free group. So I wanted to thank you for all the things you've done for the One Rental at a Time community. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so here's the post. This came from Chris, and I'll let you see his last name when you log in. We've
Okay.
been using Himalayan for the last 30 days. Just signed up using Zuber's discount code, saved us 300 bucks. Cool. Thanks, Michael, for all of what you do. No problem. You're very welcome. Here we go. As for the Hemlane platform, it is very user friendly. We have started using it for an existing triplex, sent links to the tenants and got them on board easily. We are also using it for a new rental. Links for application was easy to send the tenant. Hemlane did a credit and background check, made an area specific lease, set up an agent to do the move in walkthrough. Tenant used to pay with a check, the old landlord, but now uses tenant portal and loves it. Hemlane is saving us big time on property management, 4 units for the price of one, which with much better communication, reliability, and customer service. Mitchell, our rep, hopefully you know who Mitchell is, has emailed us weekly to see if we needed any help and answer any questions. Strongly recommended. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. And that's great to hear. I'll give that shout out to Mitch on our team as well. But I do think that's really important. I think one of the things that Hemlane truly promotes being a software company and a platform is that you still need the service component. You still need someone there. Mitchell owns his own rental properties. He's in that same position that this guy, Chris, who wrote that post, same position. He knows exactly who he is. And that's incredibly important to us that they can relate and say, I know where you are. We want to fill this vacancy within 15 days. We want to make sure your tenants are paying directly to you online. So that's great to hear.
I mean, I think there's, having been a landlord for 20 some odd years now, I think there's a couple of things that get subtly missed in this. First and foremost, going from a check, which is handed over manually or mailed or whatever, to just online portal, amazing, right? It's certainty, or at least near certainty, versus a check, which, oh, by the way, I've had a few checks bounce over the
Yeah.
years. So that's pretty awesome. Taking over management of an existing triplex and being beneficial to bring on a new unit. How amazing is that? The ability to advertise quickly, area specific lease. I mean, there's so much in this comment. And oh, by the way, you give them a discount, which I'm sure doesn't suck. It's really cool. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And great to hear. We want to listen to your guys' community, hear also what they want within the Hemlane platform, because that's the most important thing is a real estate investor's success is our success. And that's how we think about it. It's always making sure our incentives are aligned.
So there's, I mean, again, you can look at that. There's actually a series of comments below it as well. And basically, Chris is saying they're using the cheapest level, or I don't know what you call them, levels, support, or whatever the tiers are.
Yeah.
So tell us what the tiers are. And he's very happy with the cheap one, frankly.
Yeah, and you know what? That is correct. There's no one size fits all, and it's really a personal decision which tier you are on. And 15% of our customers are on multiple tiers, so they'll
Oh,
have property that is next door to them on the basic package, and then a property out of state that they put on the complete package. So I want to make sure
I think
that
that's a great point because I think
yeah.
um, that's cool that they can be property specific. Because you're right. I think what a lot of investors, mom and pops, have been doing, given technology such as Lane, is buying in several cities, whether one's local or out of state. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So with that, that I think is a huge added perk of it, of just having all your rentals in one place. But there are 3 tiers that we have, and then quite a few different kind of add-ons you can get with it. So the first tier is basic, and that is, think of software, end-to-end software, and kind of software on steroids, where we say it's trying to help do the work for you and make recommendations of what to do. So rather than being a software where you have to log in and know, how risky is this tenant, we will tell you when we pull the background and credit check and verify their income, how risky they might be. Can they afford the rent? Are they at 2.5 of their income to their monthly rent? Whatever it may be. So that's, the software is everything from leasing, as Chris mentioned, so it's advertising the rental property, taking the applications, background and credit checks, even setting up showings. All of that is in that basic package. And then it goes to collecting rent and logging maintenance requests, tenant communications, everything all in one. So that is the basic package. Then I'm going to go to the next tier, which is the essential package. There are, and it's really who you are and at what point of your life you're in. But the essential package, where essentially we kind of take off that day-to-day, hey, I need to keep my phone on for emergencies or repair requests. We find folks who really want their weekends back to really enjoy that package. And what that package is when the tenant has a repair request that comes in, we start troubleshooting it right away. So they say, my washing machine is leaking. We are going to go through all the steps of the process to understand, why is it leaking? Can they fix it on their own, etc. Then if we cannot fix it on the phone with the tenant or through chat with the tenant, then what we're going to do is send out a service professional. And in that case, it would be an appliance repairman. You would give us a list of who's your handyman, who's your plumber, who's your electrician, who's your HVAC specialist. And you could have multiple of them. So you can put in there, here's my first handyman, but if he's not available, here's my second. And we'll call them on your behalf. We will go ahead and go through the entire process of setting up a scheduled time for them to be on site with the tenant. We will coordinate with the tenant, make sure they're comfortable with the person coming at that time, that they'll be home to let them in. And then when they're on site, they will give us a call if it's going to be incredibly expensive. You have a threshold set up, and we will only call you if it's above that threshold. So again, another preference decision. We have some users who say, if it's over $150, please stop the work and make sure to call me. We have others who say, unless it's $1,000, it hits my insurance threshold, don't call me. Just you guys figure it out, and you tell me if my service professional is overcharging, and I'll kind of switch them out for someone else eventually. So that's the essential package. What's really important with that one is that is where it's your own service professionals. So it's your own handyman, your own electrician, etc. And so when you've built up a network, especially if you're the Michael Zuber of the world, where you have a lot of properties, you have a lot of expertise in that area, you can basically put your own service professionals in. The next package is the complete package. And that one is where we go through and we have our own service professionals. So you follow that same exact, you still get all the software, but if someone calls for HVAC and, let's just say like a water, I'm trying to think of emergency situations, a water pipe burst, we will go through, tell them to shut off the main valve, all these things, but we will get the plumber out on site or the water remediation specialist. So we'll go through and make sure it's our service professionals. The essential package, we have to stop and call you if your service professionals aren't available, or especially in like emergency situations. So those are the 3 packages. The complete package also has local leasing agents. Those are third parties, so it's not us. You interview with a couple of leasing agents and you decide who you want to use to find and place a tenant. Then we have a lot of kind of add-ons that more recently we've been adding from listening to our customers. So we've had some customers say, I want self-guided tours for tenants. I want a lockbox on with a code. I want you guys to, screen the tenants, have their ID, make sure they are who they say they are before a code is given. But I don't like driving out to the property 10 times. I want to meet the tenant who's actually qualified. I want you to pre-screen them. So we have certain types of add-ons that are all service oriented, even for the basic package. So even if you're on our software only package, you can sort of get those services. Another one that's been super beneficial of an add-on for it is something that actually has helped tenants. We've had really strong reviews from tenants, which is pre-eviction support. And that is basically if the tenant can't pay rent, we're going to help with mediation and all these things before we serve a notice to try to say, hey, is there a rental assistance program? Can we help them get some sort of help before this goes to eviction, which helps the landlord, helps them, all of that. And so there's been a couple of these add-ons that we've put in there to understand what are the most emotional parts of being a landlord and how do we take that off of the landlord and make it a much more pleasant experience. And so you can get started. It's 30 days free trial. You can have those packages, but based on where you are, what you need, you can kind of, you can upgrade, you can downgrade at any time. So yeah.
Yeah. And again, what I would tell you folks, again, a lot of you that watch my channel are doing the work, looking for deals. You're not yet a landlord. I would suggest going to Himalayan.com, getting the free 30-day trial. If you're in my course, watch the videos, practice being a landlord. And if you're in the free course, get the PDF and walk through it. You have the CEO of the company giving you a guided tour. It would really be a mistake not to practice being a landlord. So any closing thoughts on this, Dana?
I think the last closing thought is that we love hearing from our customers. So we will put you in touch with that account rep. Mitchell got a shout out in the last one, but we will put you in touch with someone. So we'd love to hear always your feedback. We're always trying to make the process for you super smooth so you can build up an empire as big as Michael Zuber's here.
There you go. Thank you so much, Dana.
Great. Thanks for having me.